Hi, it's Chris Titley here, and as part of the Camrea Cricket Club podcast series that we're running here via Scoreboard Media, I'm joined by John Valiotis, Club Secretary at Camrea Cricket Club. John, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I am very well. We're sitting here on Monday, the 10th of August. It's a beautiful Brisbane day. I'm curious, what's the weather like in Melbourne?
It's about 10 degrees outside. It's raining cats and dogs, and it's just a classic Melbourne Monday morning. It is miserable.
All right. Well, let's rip straight into this, the podcast series. I'm curious, John, your background. How did you end up at Camrea Cricket Club, and what's kept you there?
Well, I've been involved in the North Metro Cricket Association and its successor or its predecessor, JICA Cricket Association, for the better part of 40 years, having started as a 13-year-old. I joined Camrea in 2019 after having spent the previous 30-odd years at two other clubs. And it was more or less a homecoming for us because a group of us left one club and went to Camrea, where we already knew half a dozen players, and so it was a really great happenstance or occurrence that we managed to get together with people that we already knew. We were keen on playing cricket, and Camrea had come back into the fold, having been in the Diamond Valley for a few years earlier, and so it was a great occasion for us to join with good old friends that we'd known since we were in primary school.
That's fabulous, and I love how cricket and also sport is a connector of people, and the fact that you're part of a team, and team sometimes represents life. I'm curious about what the club means to you, and also what an outsider would look at Camrea and what that would mean to, maybe they don't understand the camaraderie that exists or the culture that exists within Camrea. I'm curious to know if you could explain that.
Sure. Look, local sporting clubs mean a lot to those, firstly, who've been there for quite some time and who established the club and who've been life members for decades. And obviously, you get new players, new people coming into clubs who either want to play sport or want a social environment. And from my end, joining a group of people that I've known for, at that stage, the better part of 30, 35 years, meant everything. And 2019, when I joined in particular, it was a fresh beginning. It was a new start, having been at a previous club for the better part of, I think it was 28 years by that stage. It was still local to the competition, and it means a lot to those people who are members of those clubs, because you spend so much time in that environment where you're there potentially 2 times a week, even 3 times a week, for significant hours on end. And so having an environment that you feel comfortable in immediately is so important, especially football clubs, cricket clubs, netball clubs, all of those types of organisations. You want to feel welcomed. You want to feel part of that club, part of that environment as soon as possible. And I felt that immediately. It was like I was coming home. So, and it's been the better part of 7 years now, and it means a lot. It means a lot to me as a bloke who's in his 50s. And look, I'm certainly not in the peak of my social sporting career at the moment, but I've been involved in the committees, the running of the club, pretty much from the start, and I love it. I love being there. Even the anticipation of going there, either on a Thursday night for the club dinners that we have, which are quite legendary, and the cricket on the Saturdays. It's something I look forward to now in my 50s, and I love being a part of it, and I think everyone at the club loves being a part of that too.
I think you and I both can say that we're probably not open for selection for the upcoming test in Darwin and Mackay for the Australian cricket team, but we both love cricket, which is the most important thing.
I keep my avenues open, Chris. If the selectors, if Andrew McDonald wants to come and knock on my door and say, "Hey, look, we're looking for a upper middle-aged opening batsman who can keep poorly but can certainly keep the chatter up on the field," my hand's up. I'd love to play on the MCG. I'd love to tour. To be fair, I mean, a 6 week to 8 week tour to England really appeals to me. Actually,
Yes, I think it appeals to a lot of middle-aged men that aspire to play cricket for Australia. And so a poor keeper. I think you and I will have to go head to head because I'm a poor keeper too. So let's put our differences aside for Australian selection and talk for the time being. And you mentioned 2019 there, like 7 years ago. The world was a very different place pre-COVID, and the world was a very different place 7 years ago. I'm curious, taking it back to that first impressions of Camrea Cricket Club at the time, describing what life was like back then.
you've really hit the nail on the head. Then 2019. Well, we were certainly a lot more carefree environment and not subject to the whims of politicians and medical officers telling us to stay home and walk laps of playgrounds. It certainly was a different time, and it's interesting that you say, because those next couple of years, and when I say joined 2019, joined just prior to the commencement of the 1920 season, and as we know, come March of 2020, we were subject to the coronavirus, and the world changed over the course of the next couple of years, which made it so much more important to belong to something, to belong to a club, to belong to somewhere where you could actually go and be social and be with people and be in a social environment. And having made that decision to go to Camrea, it was almost as though we got given, let's say, 4 or 5 months between September and March of 1920, and then all of a sudden the world changed. And so being part of something so much bigger than yourself became so much more important.
John, you mentioned also before that you said you become involved in the club as either committee members, now your club secretary, etc. What is it about being involved at a higher level of a cricket club that gets you interested?
You want to be there's a couple of things to that question. Firstly, becoming involved in the running of a club means that you get to have a say and point the club in the right direction. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm always keen on having good governance at associations. I've been part of various professional committees and organisations over many years, and so at a local club, you want to be in a position where you ensure not only the proper running of a club, but also the future of the club. And so if you've got good people in charge, good people overseeing that, then the rest of it generally follows. So that's the important thing. And for me, that's the important thing, that having joined the club in my 40s, I wanted to go to a place where over the course of the next 10, 20, 25 years, as long as I was capable of standing on my own 2 feet, having a couple of marbles running around in my head, that I could be part of an organisation that enjoyed having me there, but I also enjoyed being there, and I could enjoy progression, an increase, an uptake in membership, good cricket, good environment, and that's very important.